Good morning, afternoon, or evening, or 12:30 p.m. I don't care. I am just here to tell you that this video is dedicated to my good friend's alternate universe, and I am narrating this because he is a pussy. Anyway, this is based off of the Big Four railways. Not the Big Four we all know of, I mean the Big Four. These four pre-grouping railways. Anyways, I'll be doing them based on the year they first opened up. Here we go. The Sodor and Mainland Railway was opened in 1853, and it was the first standard gauge railway on Sodor that was steam-powered. Despite the name of the railway, it only ever reached Ballyhoo. It was first promoted in 1850 to have a connection with, at the time, the unknown Sodor and the mainland. The idea got supported from local investors, who in return would build a branch line up to Peel Godred. The idea was accepted. However, it took until 1861 to construct the actual line, from Ballyhoo to Wolf's Castle. They bought 3 square locomotives, who were considered the typical contractor locomotives at the time. However, many details about these engines have either been lost or burnt in the Crovan's Gate fires. The railway ultimately proved to be ambitious, but the ill-fated and the company's high hopes were disappointed. Their tunnel through the Ballyhoo Ridge collapsed, preventing the railway from connecting with Vicarstown, and the attempts to erect a bridge across the Walney Channel fared no better. Due to these severe setbacks, trains only ended up running between Kirkronan and Ballyhoo. And by 1870, the company was already teetering on the verge of bankruptcy. By this point, the people of Peel Godred had realized that the promised branch line would never be built by the S&M, and came to the conclusion that they must build it themselves. Bankruptcy finally came in 1901, and the last of its locomotion was scrapped that year, except for 1 locomotive, bringing services to an end, but the company remained in being, simply dormant. Fuck, I'm already tired. Anyways, second part. The Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway was opened in 1870 by a man called Timothy Eglinton. Timothy Eglinton was working for a newspaper company in Sudbury when talk about a railway opened. With enough money to support him, and the railway financially, he opened the railway between Wellsworth and Sudbury. He called it the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway. However, since construction was slow, the line itself opened in 1871, with its first locomotives coming in the same year. It was soon extended to Brendam and Crosby in its later years, where 3 more engines were bought. However, due to 2 of its locomotives having a head-on collision, it really only had 5 in total instead of the 7 it was originally supposed to have. The railway thrived before 1914, where it merged with the 4 other companies. It started off as the Elsbridge and Knapford Railway in 1885. It began when the Ulfstead Mining Company was interested in the minerals at the high ground to the southeast of Torreyreck, but due to surrounding fenlands, they could not extract or transport them by land, and the section of River Els from Elsbridge to Knapford was hazardous. To overcome the issue in 1883, they called in A.W. Dry and Company, a firm who had the necessary experience from the engineering work to overcome drainage problems in East Anglia. The line itself began from the wharf at Elsbridge and curved east to the mines at Torreyreck, and from there, keeping to the firmest ground, swung round on top of the embankments, with a wide curve to bypass the remaining fenland to reach the harbour at Knapford. The line opened in 1885 as the Elsbridge and Knapford Railway. The harbour, however, proved to be a disappointment as it needed constant dredging, and by 1905 the cost had become prohibitive. Under recommendation from A.W. Dry, the mining company abandoned the harbour in favour of extending the line around the coastline to Tidmouth. Horses were not deemed appropriate for the longer haulage of minerals, and so A.W. Dry's young engineer, Mr. Topham Hatt, was tasked to build light locomotives in their place. At Tidmouth he built 4 vertical boiler engines, which were soon nicknamed coffee pots. However, one was cut up due to a boiler explosion, and a new locomotive was bought from the LBSC. The same year, 2 other engines were bought and built. One was built at Tidmouth, and was named Lady of Hanover. The other, however, was bought from the GNR. In 1910, the extension to Tidmouth was completed and was renamed to the Tidmouth, Knapford and Elsbridge Light Railway the same year. In 1914, the railway, along with the 3 other railways, amalgamated to form a new, bigger and better railway. The final line. The Great Waterton and Vickerstown Railway. It was built in 1895 with the idea to connect two central cities together, and two engines were purchased for the line. The main industry, however, was lumber. It was in between the two cities and was the reason why the railway was so successful. However, due to the popularity of Netford and due to it being run by a more developed railway and more jobs beginning to open up, Great Waterton was slowly losing its fame. Passenger services were withdrawn in 1909, and soon enough the railway's only purpose was lumber. In 1914, the lumber yards mysteriously caught fire. Some said it was spark from one of the engines, however it was said that a worker ignited it. Whatever it was, it caused the railway to go bankrupt and close down. The rails were ripped up and the locomotives were put into storage. Luckily in the same year it was absorbed by 3 other railways to form the North Western Railway. And that's it, people. Thank you for staying around till the end. And for you people that didn't, well, you're not here anymore, so I can't say much. Anyways, thanks for sticking into the program, and goodbye.